and welcome back, where today I'm reviewing Ado's new song Kaze No Yukue, which just came out. Now, despite living in Japan, the first song I'd ever actually sat down and listened to by Ado was Top Musica, despite all of the fame that she's had, and I was immediately blown away by just the sheer power of her voice, and I was really interested to know just how much she could use that voice for different styles. So I went out and decided to listen to another one of her songs that I have reviewed, but I haven't posted the review yet. So it happened between these two songs. Anyway, that was really upbeat, and I started thinking, wow, she's got such a range of things that she can do with her voice. And then this song premieres, and wow, again, this is just such a beautiful ballad of a song. And that really surprised me. I've now heard her doing 3 different songs, one really deep and dramatic, one fun and upbeat, and one beautiful ballad, and her voice just works brilliantly in all of them. So let's start by talking about that. Now, in my Top Musica review, one of the things that I've mentioned was how impressive it was that she was able to deliver so much power in her voice whilst also maintaining incredible control and being able to give that little bit of grit on the more push notes. You could really feel a sort of energy, a sort of stress in her voice that was under control, but also was delivering a lot of passion. That came back very much here. You could really feel that it was more a case of emotion, whereas in Top Musica we were talking more about a sort of a borderline anger, sort of a rock type of force. Here we're looking at something that sounds more like a passion, more of a feeling of loss and sadness, but again, delivered through that sense of grit and energy when it's required, and more introspective and thoughtful, softer delivery on the lighter notes. So again, as normal, loving her voice, let's move on to something more specific to this song. And that's really to talk about the fact that this is a big pop ballad. It really just screams anthemic pop ballad. Now, you might say, yes, we've heard this thing a million times before from artists in Japan and artists in the West. However, Japan has a long history of fantastic ballad singers, especially in the last couple of decades. I often reference singers like Ayaka, who's got a fantastic voice. You've got singers with lighter voices like Otsukai, who still managed to do songs like Planetarium, which are just legendary. There is a really great history of fantastic ballad songs coming out of Japan. However, a lot of the music that's become famous overseas from Japan has mostly been the more heavy rock stuff, the curious, the weird things. So for example, we look at bands like Baby Metal. They became huge overseas. Bands like Bandmate now becoming very big overseas. These are all bands who are more in that rock side of things, whereas when we look at the pop, it tends to be Korean pop and K-pop becoming very popular in the West. So what I really like here is seeing how popular that Ado has become recently, and off the back of seemingly nothing but pure quality of delivery and beautiful songwriting, I must say I'm really happy and excited by the possibility that we could be getting a Japanese pop artist who encapsulates everything that is great about the Japanese pop ballad, who isn't just doing what the latest trend is, and yet still seems to be really capturing the ears and hearts of people overseas, who could really be bringing that side of Japanese pop to a much wider audience. Now, in the case of this song, it does everything that you would expect from that kind of pop ballad. Yeah, we're not exactly reinventing the wheel here. We've got the big held notes in the chorus. We've got lyrics that talk about the feeling of loss and growth in a really beautiful way, I must say. The translations on the video as well were really great. Allowed, again, that international audience to really understand the feeling of the song. On top of that, we obviously have the held string notes as well. Lots of swells of strings in the background. It's a song that really doesn't do anything hugely new in this area. But again, my point is not that it's revolutionizing this whole style of music. It's not reinventing the wheel. What we're doing instead here is really perfecting a sound that we've heard before. It's one of those things where when you hear someone do something you've heard before, it can be somewhat comfortable. It can be a genre that a lot of people know, that is easy to access. But when you hear it done in a way that stands out, that's so rare in a sea of other ballads or other songs of the same style that you can't help but turn and listen and feel that the whole genre is being reinvigorated. And this is a style of ballad that has become so commonplace that you could say, okay, maybe Ado's not doing something hugely new here, or you could say, wow, she's really breathing life into a genre of song that is very beloved, but has become somewhat samey in recent years. Again, as with Top Musica, you can really hear that her voice is pushed higher up in the mix than you would perhaps expect in many other pieces. However, I do again understand that this is a very vocally driven song. She is an artist who's got an amazing voice, and the lyrics again are very key. It's very much about the narrative of the song as well as just the sounds. I do believe that one of the things that works so well about the music is they're not, again, going for super complicated writing. They're instead picking a palette of sounds that just provides the correct bed under which she can provide that amazing voice and also deliver lyrics that should hopefully get through to people on an emotional level as well. In conclusion, there's two ways of looking at this song. From the perspective of Ado, yeah, it's great. It shows another thing that her voice suits so well, another type of song that she can really find the passion in and deliver so wonderfully. From the perspective of the outside listener though, and given the success that her music seems to be having with foreign audiences at the current moment, I think this also stands to be a very positive sign for Japanese music as a general. I think this is the possibility of something which is much more, if you like, traditional in the Japanese contemporary music scene, coming out and showing Japan as just a great songwriting nation as well. I really love a lot of the more quirky bands that have come out from Japan and really overturned the way that foreign audiences look at music. I love the fact that Japan is always there to say, hey, we'll do the things that other countries won't. But I think sometimes foreign audiences can get the impression that that's kind of all that Japan does. So when you see something like this that has that has such a mainstream quality, I just think that for that to gain success and on the back of, as I say, pure quality being its number one selling factor, I really like it. Yes, again, if you're a big muso, it's not going to change or reinvent the wheel for you. It's not going to do anything you haven't heard before, but it is beautifully delivered. She's got a fantastic voice. It really tugs at the heartstrings, and I think it is absolutely worth a listen. Now, I need to get some fly spray because the landlord of this place, he's definitely got a bug infestation that I've got to deal with. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these videos, for now, ciao ciao.